Picture this. Your child is mid-tantrum, the screams echo, your nerves fray. But instead of yelling or offering bribes, you tell a story. Not to distract, but to connect. And suddenly, something shifts. Tears soften, defenses lower, and for a moment, discipline becomes an act of love. Welcome to Guide to Reads, where parenting meets neuroscience. Today, we're diving into Sarah R. Moore's Peaceful Discipline, a revolutionary guide to raising children without breaking their spirit or losing your sanity. You've probably heard it all before. Let them cry it out. They'll learn the hard way. Timeouts fix everything. But deep down, something about that never felt right. This episode explores a different path, one rooted in compassion, brain science, and the simple power of human connection. You'll learn why punishments often backfire, how empathy rewires behavior, and how storytelling can become your greatest parenting tool. Because parenting doesn't have to be a battle of wills, it can be a partnership, a conversation, a story told with love. 1. The case for story teaching. Imagine this. You walk into your child's room and see them joyfully tossing freshly folded clothes across the floor. Instinctively, you raise your voice, maybe even issue a few threats. Your child looks up, startled, hurt. You walk away, fuming, only to be hit moments later by a wave of guilt. What just happened, you wonder? Why does parenting feel so hard? If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. So many parents find themselves stuck in an exhausting loop of yelling, guilt, and growing distance. But here's the truth. Parenting doesn't have to feel like a battlefield. In fact, it can be peaceful, even joyful. Enter story teaching, a timeless approach that's been guiding children for thousands of years. From the parables of Jesus to the cautionary tales told by Inuit elders to teach water safety, storytelling has always been humanity's most powerful teaching tool. Why? Because it speaks the language of the child, one of curiosity, wonder, and imagination. Unlike quick-fix parenting hacks or harsh discipline methods, story teaching aligns with what children truly need. Kids thrive when they feel safe, seen, soothed, and secure. And that's exactly what stories offer. They create a gentle space for emotional learning, where children can explore big feelings and tough situations without the fear or overwhelm that comes with direct confrontation. This is especially transformative for sensitive children who might shut down under traditional discipline. With story teaching, they're not being corrected. They're being invited into understanding. And the timing couldn't be more critical. Studies show that between kindergarten and third grade, children's creativity is dropping at an alarming rate. Storytelling reawakens their imagination. It shifts them from passive consumers of entertainment into active participants in their own learning, thinkers, feelers, and creators. But perhaps the most beautiful part? Story teaching allows parents to guide without judgment, to connect without control. It turns mistakes into moments of learning, not shame. And it reminds us that being an imperfect parent isn't a failure. It's a very human kind of success. So, how do you begin? It all starts with one essential skill: emotion coaching. And that's exactly where we'll go next. 2. Emotion coaching. Imagine telling a screaming child, take a deep breath, and expecting them to instantly calm down. You might as well tell the sun not to shine. Why doesn't that approach work? When children are emotionally overwhelmed, the limbic system, the brain's survival center, kicks in. Meanwhile, the frontal lobe, where reasoning and language live, goes offline. In other words, kids literally can't talk about their feelings when they're in meltdown mode. Their brain has temporarily shifted into survival. Add to that the fact that children's brains aren't fully equipped for self-control. Skills like emotional regulation, patience, and impulse control develop in the frontal lobe, which doesn't fully mature until around age 25. So even when kids know better, they often don't have the brain power to act on it consistently. That's where emotion coaching comes in. By helping kids name and navigate their feelings, we're giving them a lifelong roadmap for emotional health. Start simple. Describe your own emotions and reflect what you see in your child. Say things like, "I'm crying because I feel sad," or "You seem happy. I can tell by your big smile." Point out how storybook characters might feel too. "He looks angry. His face is red and he's scowling." As your child gets older, add more nuance. "I wonder if he also feels embarrassed because everyone's looking at him and pointing." But timing is everything. Don't try to teach in the middle of a meltdown. When emotions run high, kids can't absorb lessons or language. Instead, support them with body-based strategies that help their nervous system settle. Skip the command to take a deep breath and say, "Let's pretend we're fire-breathing dragons," or "buzz like a bee with me." These playful approaches stimulate the vagus nerve, helping calm the body, and they speak your child's language. Just as important, don't rush to fix their emotions. Let them cry when they're sad. Instead of saying, "Don't cry," try, "I'm here with you." Let it all out. Want to teach healthy anger? Model it. "I'm frustrated, so I'm taking a few deep breaths before I say anything." And perhaps most powerfully, shift your perspective. Instead of seeing a child as disobedient, try thinking of them as dysregulated. That mindset helps you focus on calming them, not controlling them. And here's the secret. A regulated child is a teachable one, which is the heart of any positive discipline strategy. 3. Managing your responses. Sometimes the most important parenting decision isn't what you say. It's how long you can wait before saying it. When a child misbehaves, the instinct to correct them immediately can be overwhelming. But discipline delivered in the heat of frustration often backfires. It teaches fear, not wisdom, compliance, not connection. Imagine your child hurling silverware, scattering every piece of clothing, or handling the dog too roughly. Your first move? Pause. If there's no immediate danger, you have time, and time is power. A calm reminder like, "Use gentle hands," works far better than "Stop that," because it tells the child what to do, not just what not to do. And that kind of guidance reaches the brain, even when it's dysregulated, far more effectively. But let's be real. Staying calm isn't always easy. That's where the hug process comes in. H. Hold your reaction. U. Understand your child's perspective. G. Give them grace. It's a simple 3-step tool to anchor yourself when chaos strikes. The pause at the start is crucial. Even 6 seconds of stillness can pull your brain out of survival mode. A deep breath, a shoulder roll, or even a half smile can disrupt the fight-or-flight loop and reopen the door to connection. Then move toward understanding. Children aren't miniature adults with bad attitudes. They're still developing humans, often sending you messages through misbehavior. That tantrum might really mean, "I'm tired," or "I need control," or even, "I just need you." Curiosity instead of judgment builds empathy and leads to better solutions. Never forget, your child is learning self-regulation by watching you. Your example matters. Picture this. You drop your dinner face down on the floor. Instead of losing it, you look down and say, "Oh, floor, if you were hungry, you could have just asked." Your daughter bursts out laughing and learns something powerful. That even when things go wrong, we still get to choose our response. And yes, you'll lose it sometimes. You'll snap, overreact, get it wrong. That's okay. These moments offer their own lesson. Repair. A simple, shame-free apology like, "I didn't handle that well, I'm sorry," teaches your child something profound. That being wrong doesn't make you unlovable. It just makes you human. And it opens the door for connection to begin again. 4. Rethinking punishment. Imagine this. A police officer pulls you over for speeding. Your heart races, your stomach knots, and shame creeps in. Now think about your child. Is that really the kind of emotion you want them to feel when you're trying to teach them a valuable lesson? And yet, traditional punishment often triggers that exact same dynamic. Instead of bringing our children closer when they're struggling, punishment tends to push them away. It rarely teaches the lesson we hope it will. Take a common scenario. Your child leaves a toy outside, and in response, you take away their screen time. The link between the behavior and the consequence feels arbitrary, disconnected. Rather than learning responsibility or understanding cause and effect, the child may simply feel controlled. Worse, they may start believing, "I'm bad," instead of, "I made a mistake, and I can learn from it." Over time, this damages their self-worth and warps how they view authority and relationships. There's a better way. Let the consequence teach the lesson. Natural consequences occur organically, like a toy left outside being ruined by rain. The experience itself does the teaching. Logical consequences are parent-guided and closely tied to the behavior, like temporarily taking away a device after screen time rules are repeatedly ignored. Both approaches help the child learn, rather than suffer. Discipline also works better when kids feel involved. This doesn't mean letting them run the show. It means offering meaningful choices. A toddler could choose whether they want their bath before or after story time. A teen might choose between saving up for a phone or working to buy one. When children help shape the rules, they're more likely to respect them and grow in responsibility. Now let's shift how we see challenging behavior. Often it's labeled as attention-seeking. But what if deep down it's actually attachment-seeking? That's not misbehavior. That's a deep developmental need. Traditional timeouts isolate kids at the exact moment they most need connection. A better alternative? A time in, a calming moment shared between parent and child. Reading, walking, sitting together. These are ways to help kids regulate their emotions while deepening trust. Even the word no can be reimagined. Instead of slamming the door on a child's request, open a window toward future possibilities. So instead of, we're going to the store, but you're not getting anything, try, if you see something you like, let's take a photo and add it to your wish list. This simple shift honors the child's desires while teaching delayed gratification, and it builds trust that their voice matters. But here's the secret. Always follow through. When you say yes later, let that really mean something.
5. How to use story teaching. By now, you've learned the core tools of peaceful discipline, emotion coaching, brain-aware responses, and co-regulation. These skills help you connect with your child where they naturally are, in their feelings, their play, and their need for connection. Story teaching weaves all of these together. When you tell a tale about a worried bunny or a mischievous robot, you're using empathy, regulation, and imagination to teach important life lessons in the language kids understand best. Story. Story teaching works on 3 key levels. Preventative stories help prepare kids for challenges before they happen, like rehearsing how to handle a birthday party when your child gets anxious in crowds. In-the-moment stories help soothe and support children while something is unfolding, giving them tools and language in real time. Restorative stories help kids process experiences after the fact, turning difficult moments into learning opportunities. Timing is everything. The best time to tell a story is when your child is calm and open, like during bedtime, in the car, or cuddled up on the couch. And you don't need an hour, even 10 minutes of storytelling can make a lasting impact. For a story to really land, use characters your child finds delightful or relatable. Let's say your child resists brushing their teeth every night. Instead of nagging, you tell this story. 3 teeth, Kitten Elizabeth, Wonky Patonky, and Josephine Kerfufflefluff, live happily inside a cozy mouth cave. One day, the gigantic toothbrushing machine shows up with its cold water and scratchy bristles. Kitten Elizabeth feels scared. Wonky Patonky gets mad. 2 of them hide behind their friend Tongue. But Josephine is brave. She discovers brushing actually feels like a massage. I feel fresh and strong and sparkly, she announces. The next morning, Josephine encourages her friends to take a deep belly breath and sing the ABCs. They give it a try, and it works. This time, the teeth feel proud, calm, and squeaky clean. This story gently guides your child through emotions, solutions, and closure. It follows a powerful structure, peaceful beginning, where everything is calm and safe. Problem: a challenge arises, like the scary toothbrush. Emotional exploration. The characters feel big feelings, empowering resolution. They find a solution. Emotional closure. They name their positive feelings. Age matters too. Younger kids, under 7, respond best to animals and simple plots. Older kids might prefer stories with humor or real-life situations. Teens tend to engage more with realistic peer dynamics or stories drawn from your own life. And if your child derails the story, turning a squirrel into a flying superhero or making the toothbrush sing opera, go with it. That playfulness is the learning. It's how their imagination processes emotion and meaning. You don't need a huge library of stories either. A few go-to tales that address common household challenges, like school drop-offs, bedtime routines, or sibling arguments, are enough. Once your child knows them well, a quick reference like, "Remember Josephine Kerfufflefluff?" can redirect behavior on the spot, no lecture required. In the end, story teaching does more than solve problems. It builds emotional vocabulary, nurtures self-regulation, and strengthens your relationship. It creates a shared language between you and your child, one that says, "I see you, I get you, we're in this together." One story at a time.
Final reflection. Parenting is not about perfection or control. It's about connection, patience, and the courage to grow alongside our children. When we choose peaceful discipline, we choose to meet our kids with empathy instead of fear, with stories instead of scolding, and with understanding instead of judgment. By learning to coach emotions, manage our own responses, and teach through stories, we build not only better behavior, but deeper bonds. We help our children become emotionally intelligent, resilient, and confident, and we give ourselves the grace to be human, imperfect, and always learning. As Sarah R. Moore reminds us, discipline can be an act of love, one that strengthens the roots of trust and respect so your family can flourish together. Thank you for joining this journey on Guide to Reads, where every story offers a spark of wisdom for life's greatest adventure, raising the next generation. If you found something meaningful in today's episode, share it with someone who might need it, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for more insights that nurture your heart and mind. Until next time, keep telling your stories and keep growing together.